Hey there, this is Jersey City boxing fan, and just remember, I am not an expert, I'm just a fan. So this is a boxing matchup, day one of a series of these that we're gonna do. Who wins a 15-round fight? 1986, Mike Tyson, or 1969, Joe Frazier? So, if you look at the end of 1986, Mike Tyson's record was 28-0 with 26 KOs. Impressive. Joe Frazier's record at the end of 1969 is 24-0. Impressive as well. A couple less fights, but I think you'll see that I think Joe had the better competition. But anyway, so some notable wins that Tyson had at this point. He had a win over Jesse Ferguson, a knockout. James Quick Tillis, I think, was the first, if I'm not mistaken, person to take him the distance. And, big guy, confident, not scared of Tyson's persona. Took him the whole distance. Mitch Green, Tyson beat him, but again, on points. And Mitch Green's the one, if you remember, they had the fight afterwards where Mitch Green had a street fight with Tyson and he got a black eye. And a win over Jose Ribalta. And then at the end of the year in 1986, Tyson beats Trevor Berbick for the WBC championship. All right, Frazier's notable wins. Now, to me, a little more interesting. In 1966, you have Frazier going up against Oscar Bonavena. Dude, I watched this recently. The second round of that fight, Frazier gets knocked down with like a short right. Gets back up, looks a little bit dazed, then he gets clocked and he goes backwards, like way back on his back. Has to kind of crawl to get himself up. Beats the count, but he looks wobbly. Like, honestly, like, I don't think the ref should have stopped it, but if he did, I've seen refs stop it for less. Wobbly. Now, New York was it New York? I think it was in New York. Had a 3 knockdown rule at the time. So one more time he goes down, that's it over. Now, if you think, what do? You hold, which he did a little. Frazier did do that a little bit, but you kind of like try to get away from the guy. Frazier came forward the entire time. When he wasn't holding, Frazier just seemed to know one mode: go at the person. And he got out of the round and actually ended up winning that fight in a split decision. But, later on, he did beat Bonavena with a unanimous decision. But Bonavena gave Frazier a tough time, Frazier beat Doug Jones with a KO in the 6th round. And it took Ali. Ali fought Doug Jones and had a tough time with him. Me and my buddy watched it recently. He actually scored Doug Jones as winning the fight with Ali, and I thought Ali won, but it was close. And Frazier beat George Chuvalo with a KO in the 4th round, and TKO of Buster Mathis. And in 1969, right where the year we're talking about, you have Frazier beating Jerry Quarry. It was they stopped it for cuts. Quarry was bleeding so bad, but that was fight of the year. So at this point, you have to say that Frazier definitely had the tougher competition and was in the tougher fights, okay? So, another thing to keep in mind is that you have Muhammad Ali's absence from the ring hanging over Joe Frazier, okay? The ring ratings that year had Ali as a champ, Joe Frazier ranked number 1. And, Ali refused to be inducted into the war, we all know, and he couldn't box anymore. So he was out of the ring for 3 years, and that hung over Joe's entire reign until he actually beat Ali in 1970. Tyson, at this time, he was well known, and but he wasn't the Tyson, I think, that people really kind of knew in 87, 88, and 89. It was a little early on when he just won the title from Berbick. And his dominance wasn't really established at that point, from what I remember, you still have in the ring rankings, you have at the end of 86, Michael Spinks is the champion, Tyson's number 1. As far as the corners, Frazier has Yank Durham, Eddie Futch, Tyson had Kevin Rooney, and both good corners, but Frazier definitely has the better corner there. So what do these two fighters have? You have Joe Frazier with that incredible left hook. I've been watching videos recently where you see it. It just comes from this low angle and like straight up and power with the twisting of his hips. And, I feel like people didn't even see it coming half the time. It's that quick. Tyson, he had a great left hook also. Not as good as Joe's, I don't think. But Tyson also had that right to the body, right uppercut. And just relentless, both of them. So they're both used to coming forward all the time. That'd be an interesting fight to see who takes a step back first. On Facebook, I've been putting these matchups up and seeing what people think, who would win. So I'm just kind of going to do a little tally of the votes, if there were votes for this. My buddy Martin, just like a blank emoji of we don't know. I don't know who wins it. My buddy Thomas, if it goes 15, Joe. My buddy Ray, tough one. I think Iron Mike before Don King, but Frazier kills him after. And I would say this was before Don King, but Kevin Rooney's still his trainer at the time. My buddy Ronnie, Frazier never quit. If you got Tyson by the 6th round, Frazier. That being said, Frazier lost to Foreman in the 2nd round. So mixed right there. Matt Friedman, Frazier. He was disciplined, moved well, had incredible energy reserves, and fought well in later rounds, a notorious weakness of Tyson. Other than when hit by Foreman, which we know that Foreman demolished him, right? He also had an incredible chin and a great left hook. Also a major flaw in Tyson's defense, as demonstrated by Razor Ruddock, and Douglas. He would have tired Tyson out and knocked him cold in the 13th. Awesome review by Matt. Matt, as you're going to see in the future videos, Matt goes on these long, epic posts that are beautiful. That was a shorter one for Matt. Scott, I don't know boxing well, but I'd say Frazier in 5. Ken Sino, if MT makes it to 15, Joe would win. Joe Frazier is the ultimate warrior, one of the best of all times. Johnny Rotten from Chilltown. What a chin. Ali claimed no one on earth had a chin like this man. Quote from an Ali book I read. Chin like a rhino in his words. Woo. Brian says Frazier. Danny says... Danny kind of questioned their intelligence, which is fine. It's no big deal. Rennie. Frazier, no doubt. Me? I love these answers, and I thought more people would pick Tyson. I said Frazier in the late round. I think he would tire Tyson down. Frazier was relentless. Tyson was strong and quick and really accurate, though. But he didn't have Foreman power. I think it's tough to call. All right. Charlie, Frazier wears Mike out, wins by TKO in 11. Phoenix, Tyson was a powerhouse, but if you made it past the 5th round, you were probably going the distance with him. Tim, owing to younger Tyson's incredible speed, which I agree with, and defense. I think Iron Mike wins by knockout in short, but very entertaining slugfest. That's one thing we tend to forget, is that early on in Tyson's career, he still had all that knowledge from Customato, and he was training hard, and he had all the head movement. So I feel like that went away a little bit later on. Johnny Rotten, somebody gets knocked out before the 4th. Can't say who. We'll never know. If I had to say later rounds Frazier, Tyson burns out maybe. Notice I use question marks. Then Johnny Rotten continues. I just can't imagine it going 15. Tyson in his prime hadn't been beyond the 4th much at all. So that's why I offer my 2 cents. Ha, okay. 15 rounds in Tyson's corner, throws in the towel. You happy? I am happy, Johnny Rotten. Rennie said Tyson's hook is devastating, but Frazier's a scientist. Whoever gets lucky first, in my opinion. Johnny Rotten again. Frazier was at the Bogalata 2 fight. He walked right past me upon entering Convention Hall. So much respect. Well, those are the Facebook comments. And we tally them up, and you'll see on the screen who won. So as you can see, Frazier won that one with my Facebook friends. So that's a definite. It's funny, as I look back on this, I posted this about 2 weeks ago. As I look back on it, it's funny how 1 minute you think I put Frazier, and next minute I think Tyson, man. Tyson at 1986. I don't know anybody's going to beat Tyson 1986. I mean, that is a tough call. I mean, Frazier, mad respect. He's like a legend. So is Mike Tyson. I mean, I don't know. One thing I want to talk about before I end this video is that a lot of people don't know this, that Joe Frazier did a lot for charity. And there was a great politician from Jersey City named Willie Wolf. He lived across the street from me. And every Christmas, for a long time, he would have a Christmas party for all the kids in Jersey City that maybe weren't getting gifts. And every Christmas, it wasn't, I don't remember being advertised that much. You know, it was kind of like just a low-key kind of thing. But Joe Frazier would come up from Philly and give out gifts to the kids. And, you know, it was great. I never went to this, but, you know, it was every year for a while. And I just give credit to people like that do things without, you know, trying to make a big deal about it. So that's my Jersey City connection for Joe Frazier. And Tyson has a ton of Jersey City connections. A lot of people don't know that. I know he's from Brownsville, Brooklyn, and then I know he lives in Vegas now, in the Vegas area. But Tyson hangs out and still does sometimes hang out at a bar called Ringside down on Tunnelly Avenue in Jersey City. And the owner there, Mario Costa, lets Tyson have a pigeon coop of like racing pigeons up on the roof. And there's a couple pigeon coops there that he goes to. Arturo Gatti used to go there as well. And you know, and Tyson also did some charity work. I remember he would come to Jersey City and give out toys at Christmas to through the Jersey City PAL. And it's beautiful, man. You know, like doing it without really trying to make it huge. You know, they're just doing things behind the scenes. Last thing I'm going to say, Joe Frazier had that awesome appearance in Rocky. And also, I just recently watched Rocky Balboa. Tyson has a little appearance in Rocky Balboa. Pretty cool. All right, signing out here. Jersey City boxing fan. I'm not an expert. I'm just a fan. And I think the consensus on that one is that Frazier takes out Tyson late. Adios, people.